This energy is just a little spacey. We're in Cancer now. Our feelings are full blown out now. We're getting to the truth of our lives because we're feeling into it.
Yeah, I actually on that new moon day, something hit me just,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, this is so minor. Why? Like, I couldn't sleep. It was just like ruminating, going around. But it was, yeah, it was. And then I was like, yeah, it's or not full moon. It was new moon,
It
right?
was a new moon, but the
Yeah.
new moons are the new moons are like really new. Like we're in a new era, and what does that mean? Well, it means that we're in a whole new timeline that has all of its own karma. It's like a reset in some ways because we're on a new timeline with new karma, right? So you're kind of like starting over as far as the future is concerned. I don't know how you have to pay if you didn't do it in the past. I don't know how that works. All right, but I know that like we're karma free now. The only way you're going to carry the karma over to the new timeline is to be carried over and do it, right? But the consequence of it being new is like we kind of don't have any hold like foot holding. We're sort of floating. That's what everyone's kind of doing. They're kind of floating, don't know where they're going, not sure what's happening, and that's just because we're this intersection. And I'm in the new one, the new timeline for sure. Some people are trying to live in the old. I'm not trying to live in the old. So that means everything can change. Everything. I guess you should say we're in Cancer. So what Cancer is your emotional well-being. And your emotions are very important because your feelings are what make you special in the universe. Human beings have feelings, no other species do, and human beings have creativity, no other species do. Not like quite like we do. We have creativity where we can connect directly to creation. No other species is creative connecting directly to creation. This is a Christed planet, which means that God has come down with his core energy or her core energy and blessed the planet at least 4 times. We know. So the
Wait, wait, wait,
blessings,
wait.
yeah.
What does that mean? At least four times.
Well, no, there's only Jesus wasn't the only Christ. There's been like five, four or five. And Mother Earth is a soul, alive, a soul that volunteered to do this. But then to bring the highest vibration down into a lowest vibration thing is
Hmm.
called being Christed. So Christ really comes from creation. It's not, the thing is the churches were just so wrong, y'all, and so evil, and so what they preached against. They were what you were supposed to be afraid of. So, and I don't want to insult anyone because don't confuse Christ with the church, okay? Or Jesus with the church. Yeah, Yeshua is his name, actually. We're all praying the wrong name, so he's not even getting the prayers.
Hmm. Right.
He's not even getting the prayers. That's how evil that thing is. He's not even getting the prayers. Because when you pray
Yeah,
to
that is
Jesus,
pretty serious, right?
when you pray to Jesus, I don't know what you're praying. There's some Mexican somewhere that's like, whoa, just like fucking having his orgasm,
Jesus.
like, what the fuck? I don't know what, he's just like, this total like, what the fuck? Every time it's like a volcano or anything, like I have these fucking orgasms. No, but so anyways, Christed means that the planet has been protected with the highest order. The reason for that is because this is all I learned through talking to aliens and just talking to angels, and I interview them. I'm like, so tell me this, what's the scoop on this? I don't ever repeat anything which we already know. But and basically it's because Earth has always been a special experiment. What Earth is a library learning place. So it's a planet that you can incarnate onto and learn about who you are and learn about all the other species in the universe. All the plants behind you and trees are all from different planets. That's why we have so many species. It's like, yeah, science like it was all evolved. Okay, so from two, from two like I don't even know what they were, amoebas. That came before us? I don't think so. Like, whenever we talk about plants, we talk about natural selection. Where the fuck did plants come from? So they're like, oh, a seed probably fell off an asteroid. And, yeah, but the point is like, the truth is like,
Panspermia.
Earth has been a special experience, special garden. It's the Garden of Eden. It's the whole Earth's Garden of Eden, as far as the myth is concerned. And it's designed to be a library of all the different planets, all different species. And human beings are made of DNA from the 12 alien races that make up this part of the universe. And that's our thing. We're a 12-based system, 12 stove species, of which Palladians and Syrians are particularly interested in us. They sort of adopted us and took care of us directly. And so we are here to work out the problems of the universe because we have all the aliens and the aliens still fight. They still fighting. They still they're not talking. There's some of those aliens that don't talk to each other and they're still fighting. They have problems with it. Um, and they don't let each other go because one of them is always like kind of like killing to get things. So anyways, they figured a long time ago that if they made a species with all the DNA of all the different aliens, that that race alone would work out the problems. And there's
That's
That's why they watch us too, see how we problem solve. So one of the reasons, and they're also fascinated by us because because we don't know God exists, and so they're so fascinated to see in this reality show. This is what Palladius told me. We're so interested to watch you when you don't know the truth, that you're fine and always will be fine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're good TV series.
And we have MTV. They like our music
We don't have
videos.
any more. Now we have teen pregnancy and other stuff. But it's not really the MTV you and I know.
Hey, so there's some interested comments about the other three
Oh
Christ-like
yeah, yeah.
figures.
I have heard of them in different passings. I know one was in India and was part of the whole Guru sensation. So the whole Guru sensation, all that came from whoever this person was. And what it is that if you're a soul that can carry the Christ, I mean, if you understand the Christ energy is it will kill anyone that was in it because it's such high vibrations, it would kill you. So the story goes that it didn't kill him. Turns out it didn't kill him. Jesus had a little brother who was autistic because he was carrying the Christ energy. And when he turned 13, he died and passed the energy to Jesus when Jesus was man enough to actually have it without going autistic or crazy. That's the story that I heard too. I believe
Hmm.
it. It feels right. And then the boy was just incarnate to be a vessel for the Christ. And then but he could very function because it's just, I don't know, I guess you're like drunk. I don't know. What's scary. So the energy is very high vibration. The Earth has been Christed. It's a special planet. And the reason is because the intention is for the Earth to go as close to heaven as possible in physical.
So I know this is way off topic, but I've heard philosophies that the other planets are going through their own evolutionary process just like the Earth is. And like for instance, there was a species of humanoids on Venus, or and Mars had humans on it at some point and went through this whole process of ascension that the Earth is going through right now. Do you have any
Yes. Archangel Metatron told us specifically in our conference that we had at Unite the Light. He says specifically that the entire universe is going through this upgrade at the same time. We're just going from 3 to 5. They're all going to another one too. So it's a complete universal upgrade. Yes, the tall whites live on Venus now. They live in a different frequency. They live in the fifth dimension on Venus. So they don't have to worry about the the weather. It's just like landscape to them. But I don't. It was the tall whites that always lived there, and tall whites have been noted a long time on Earth to come on Earth. The Venetians have come on Earth. What's his name? Tesla said he was a Venetian. He believed he was from Venus, and that was his home planet. And he's probably right. It was. I agree. I think it was. Yes, it's true. And there were actually the ones around Mars actually were part of the Earth's creation. So Earth used to be where the orbit of Venus is, because all the planets are actually moving outward. They're actually moving away from the sun. Which, by the way, science, you're wrong again. So now Earth has moved into the warm Goldilocks zone, but in the old days, Mars is in the old Goldilocks zone, and there was a planet where there is now the asteroids. And apparently there was a full civilization on Mars. It was very human-like, but I have a feeling it was like more lizard, kind of direction. And they were fighting species, and there was another species that lived on Moldek, which is the planet. I think it's called Moldek. Moldek was the planet
yeah,
that's now the asteroid deck.
right.
Asteroid. They got into a war, and they blew up Maldek, and they fucking ruined the atmosphere of Mars. Mars' atmosphere just blew away. So as a result, they need a new planet. So they turned to Earth, which was complete ice, and so they first thing they did was they towed the moon in from somewhere. They built the moon somewhere. They towed it into the space station. They hung out there waiting to what do they call it? Change Earth. So the first thing was put in the moon, and the moon apparently cracked up the ice and started breaking up the gravity of the moon was pulling on it, so it started breaking up the ice. And then I'm not sure how they went to warming, but Earth has always been a frozen planet, and it was aliens and humans that made it non-frozen. So if you want to talk about climate change, yell at them. They are the ones that towed the moon in
Ter-
orbit and started fucking with
yeah,
us.
they terraformed it.
Terraforming. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
I heard that the moon was portaled in. That
Well,
there's some
maybe.
yeah. But so
You
you're
know,
under.
it's perfect orbit and everything is like too. We don't no other moon in existence does that.
Do you believe, whatever word we want to use here, that the moon is a natural sort of body, or is it technological?
It's hollow.
Okay.
It's an air balloon. It's an air balloon with, I think it's an air balloon with metal skin. And I think if you start digging too far down, you'll hit the punk. I don't
Yeah.
think you'll, because
Dong, it'll
you're talking
ring
about
like a
mining.
bell.
You're talking about mining on. I don't see how far. You're not gonna mine very deep.
So yeah, I mean, so how does that? Because I've heard of experiments where they send stuff into the moon and it rings like a bell for like a
Yes.
tremendous long time.
And the dark side of the moon has a base allegedly. It's been noted by all the astronauts, and they've talked about it they've mentioned it accidentally by some interviews and stuff.
So astrologically, how does the moon influence us if it is sort of like, let's say in quotes, man-made?
It doesn't matter. It has mass, and so what happens is it has a frequency. So anything like if I took you and blew you up to like the size of the moon, or your head the size of the moon, and made you orbit this Earth, then we would be influenced by you. Because apparently what it is, astrology works from what I understand, and this is the one I believe the most, all the 12 signs is the sky divided up into equal pi parts of 30 degrees, 360 degrees, 30 degrees each pi. Each pi, where we divide it up, there's something about that. Now, mind you, that's 12 in the 12 base system, right? Now, I think you could divide the same sky by 18, you create an 18 base system. So I think it doesn't matter. My theory is it doesn't matter. You divide it up. But this is a 12 base system. We want to go with the 12 DNA. So basically, humans or whatever just created these like cancer or whatever because they're like little pictures they can make with the stars with pointillism, and they just as a marker like okay that's cancer. It's really a marker. That's Leo. That's that. So the constellations are just that. What's really is the 100 billion stars behind that constellation. They're all they're all sending out photons.
Mm-hmm.
Photons move extremely fast. They move through matter, and photons will absorb what they blow through. So we feel that all the stars from that, Sagittarius blow, the characteristics of Sag, and then when a planet gets in the way, or like, or pulls those, when a planet, each planet is tuned to one of these 12. They're all tuned to it. So once it gets into our solar system, the photons are then influenced by the ruling planet, blow through Earth, and affect us. So we have like these constant currents of neutrons, I think, that are affecting the astrology. But it's really the only effect is just a connection between the energies. Like it's like it's really wireless. It's really what astrology is wireless cell phone technology. So all the Sagittarius can talk to each other. It's really what it is. And the changes like pitch and frequency and all that stuff because Jupiter keeps moving around, and as Jupiter moves around, it's like so they change, and so we all feel like, oh, I think I should go to the bathroom, and it just triggers us, and then we live in free will. So astrology triggers you, but you do it because you think the thing is you don't know where it's coming from. You think it's you that has the idea. You say, oh, that's my idea, or you picked it up from a neutron that would a bunch of neutrons that just flew through you. Every other Sagittarius in the Earth also got. So it's like I feel like it's basically astrology is wireless communication of neutrons from certain sectors of the galaxy that just emit that smell all the time. Like this is the smell they emit, and it has to do with certain like ranges of what we'll do and not do, and it's interesting. That's how I think astrology works.
And it goes like it doesn't matter if you're indoor or outdoor. Like
It literally for us to actually to measure photons coming from like other places. We have to build huge pools of water underground, and somehow they've been able to catch them from going through that. So it's like for some reason it hits water. They put something in the water, and the neutrons are like whoa, they get caught, and so that's how we even know neutrons are. We have to catch them deep down underground, where they're still down enough for a minute that we can catch them, like fireflies, like galactic fast fireflies. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, space is super interesting how they do that. Like how you detect things from very, very, very far away. You don't necessarily need like a straight shot. You can even put like steel in front of detectors, and it makes it more accurate.
yeah.
Because
They have electrical charge. They have a charge to them, or something. So yeah, I mean it's interesting. Photons are going to be like a huge, like that's a big question mark for science right now. I don't, they're like, what are these things? Why are they flying around?
yeah, and are they even moving? Like, or are they sort of like activated? Um,
Maybe they're still and we're moving
right.
through them. Like,
And the speed of light, like there's a science is still unraveling the mysteries of
yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, I think science needs to get spiritual if they want to get the real answers.
Yeah.
Because once they started talking like Metatron just opened up and told us how shit would. I mean, he just opened up. It was just told us how stuff is made, and it's just like it's hard to believe. That's the new reality. The new reality is I talk to archangels on occasion. I talk to them. I interview them through people. Like, can you believe that? It's hard to believe. Even for me, I'm like, wow, my mind has a hard time wrapping around that. Like, because I was just so programmed, it was a different way. You
Yeah,
know,
you can ask whatever you would like, right?
yeah, anything. They love us. We're
They
their
have an
kids.
answer. They have an
We're
answer
their
that's more resonant than anything that you've ever heard before.
and neutral and simple and speaking of five things at once. It's like
Yeah.
fuck. It's like quantum brilliance. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And so there are billions of angels, and we are their children. That's what he said. Like, we are descendants of the angels. We are angels on earth. The human race are a version of the angels, which is made of a different matter and a different frequency than other things in the world. That's one thing that we're a little bit, we glow literally. Do you ever see like a lizard come off the planet, of a ship glowing? Nah. The glow is that we're Christed. We come from angels. We channel God. We're creative. We have direct access to creation energy. We're very special species.
I That's so funny that you said that because I had something come to me like an hour ago. I was like, I have to ask Chris this. Like the difference between like animals and us humans. Like, is astrology affecting animals the same way it's affecting us? And
Yes.
like you're saying, like, is there like what's the difference in terms of
The difference is the operating system. So, like, animals, first of all, are reincarnating like reincarnating souls. They like what they do. They help us out. They are companions. They love to be companions to people. They love to be companions to other aliens too. They love to be a companion. They're like Librans. So, like this Libran species, and they come down, and they come down. All their arrival is completely synchronized with your story. Every animal you get when you get them is pre-chosen by you up in heaven, and scheduled to come and scheduled to leave. And their scheduling is based on support of the personal growth part. So, for instance, I know three people whose animals died last week. Three. Coincidence? No. We just ended the cycle. The animals were like, "That's it. I'm checking out. Bye, bitches." Like the animals were like, "I'm done. I did this. I did the tour. I'm done." And poof, they're gone. And they come back. Many reincarnate. And it's just, some reincarnate back in the same family. I have a couple of clients who are like, they know for sure, like the same dog came back, came back, came back. And they're like,
hmm
they're told, like the dog tells them like, "Hey, go to the pound on this day." Like, dog, like, tells them intuitively, like, "Go check out this pound." But then your animal, and you look at your animal like, "Oh my God, I feel the vibration. I know it's him or her." So yeah, animals have been growing too. Gary's been talking about this. And I agree with him. As a psychic, I've been watching animals for a long time. I like them very much, but this life I don't have a lot of time for them. I just don't have this lifetime time for them, because I want to do it right and not do it all. And so, anyways, but I have watched like my friends, animals and stuff. Animals are just shy of talking right now. They're just shy of talking.
Yeah.
They're really close. Like, and dogs are really close. And that's in our lifetime. I've seen that happen. They were really animals when I was a kid, like, like, and now they're kind of like, "Meow, meow, meow."
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, whoa, they're talking. That's their growth. They're ascending.
Yeah. I mean, my dog is better at communicating with us than we are at communicating with him. Like he understands, he's
Right,
watching,
right.
he's a Pisces. He has similar
So super
traits.
psychic. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and like it's like everything is there. It's like it's a human except for it doesn't have words that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, well, we're all going telepathic, so we're going to be telepathic with animals. Most people are, and just question is their imagination. You know, but they are. You are telepathic. I was telepathic with my son until he's 4 years old. Completely telepathic. It's hard to describe. It's just, you just know what they want. You know what
hmm
they want. You know what they're saying. You know what they're upset. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Um, oh, interesting. Yeah, and pets hold space. Like, yeah, they're cool. They're cool. All the animals on the planet also came from different planets. The fact that we have from like elephants to like, it's a rumor that the dinosaurs were actually the pets of the Anunnaki. That they were just like Anunnaki, like the super ego. So just like a man wants a big penis, they want like this big dog, and they created these gigantic animals, and then left them here to just eat everything. But they weren't native to the earth. Apparently, they were brought in through that species. They kept crossbreeding them to be bigger. They weren't supposed to be bigger. I think they got that big because they were fucking around with the DNA. Those are the same,
Yeah.
and not the same ones that cut our DNA to make us
Right.
fit. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So we have shorter lives and less aware.
yeah. Less awareness. Yeah. I mean, probably cut our sex drive. It's hard to believe, but yeah. Well, no, they want us to
Well,
reproduce. They want us to reproduce. So
yeah,
yeah, more slaves.
but anyways, the whole sexual thing is like my dog's
Taboo.
barking now. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
is this
I heard that
that's
Venus
something.
in the book series The Law of One, which talks about Ra from
Yep.
Egypt,
What's he say?
he says that the humanoids that ascended that or are ascending because time is an illusion. So the humanoids that ascend from Venus are a much more sexual species, which allowed them to basically know themselves a lot faster and quicker and more in depth. So the ascension process was a lot quicker.
So interesting, because Venus is like Venus rules Libra, our capacity to open up. So we've all been kissed by someone we don't want to be kissed by. I mean, we're like, right? Venus is like, like when Venus figures out it's like the energy figures out the code to get you open, and you sort of open up and accept. That's what
Right.
that's what Librans do. Librans are people that whenever they shift shape a little bit and shift energies according to the person they're in front of, and then they kind of like dial in, create a bridge between the two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the bridge between, yeah. All right. Well, thank you for explaining the, because it's not just the sun reflecting or coming through the planets and impacting us. It's the actual whole entire galaxy or slash universe.
I mean, all the stars. Remember all the suns. So it's the billions of suns. Our sun has a huge impact, the most impact. So when the sun goes in front of one of those, the sun like supercasts the same energy. Whoa! Like those photons hijack the sun, and then the sun like broadcasts them in real time. So when the sun is in Taurus, we're getting a heavy load of Taurus energy. Heavy. It's raining Taurus the whole time because behind the sun is Taurus energy, and then the sun just like I guess copies and sends it. Maybe every star does. Maybe that's why it's flowing through us because every star just copies and sends. Well, the accumulation of all one sector of space creates a vibration of Sagittarius, and so on and so forth. So the sun
That,
then will broadcast it.
that has a,
Oh,
there's a little bit of information about that in electric universe theory.
oh,
Instead of the sun being just like a burning ball of gas that's like the way that we're taught in school from a gravitational model of the universe is that there's just a big bang and then dust that accumulated into like piles of dust, and then we have like the sun, which is like that dust that compacted in, and then the planets are just like the leftover from that pile that just compacted in gravitationally into planets. Electric universe is more about everything being connected, and our sun is more like a electric node that's connected to all the other electric nodes. And I don't quote me on this, but I think that the planets are actually kind of birthed out of the star and
yes.
move, like you're saying, away
Science
from
doesn't
it.
say that. Science doesn't say that, but yeah, spirit does. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. And there's yes, that's all. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with all that. I don't feel like it's bullshit that the dust settled came together. It's actually that the soul incarnated and drew the dust to it. Remember, the planets are alive in their souls.
Right.
So just like a baby takes one egg and turns it into an entire body, a soul of a planet takes one piece of dust and turns it into an entire planet. Like it's created from outside. It goes like this, inside out. Everything goes inside out. And it's
That's
not
right.
gravity. It's conscious. It's will. So it's like you have to will a grasshopper to evolve. The grasshopper has to will itself to change. Everything is God. And God will do
Hmm.
what he wants to, kind of thing. So I don't believe that the Big Bang led to it, but I do believe the Big Bang was the creation of this particular theme park. And every theme park starts with the Big Bang, and then when they're tired of it, they go ahead and suck it all up in the hole, and they reblast. So it actually, from our like my third eye says, it didn't blast on the other side. It creates the universe over there, then it blasts on our side and creates the universe here. So it's really just like rubber.
Ah.
It's like rubber. It's like
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
with sound effects. Yeah, yeah, and the center of that is creation. And so, interestingly enough, so this theory is that we are waking up because photons from the center of the galactic center are now blowing through the Earth. The entire solar system, like sun in the middle and all this fun, the entire solar system is rocking like this through the ages, like it's got to rock. and it rocks. And when it rocks where my nose is a galactic center, it'll rock through in front of the galactic center. That's a golden age, and then a dark age, and a golden age, and a dark age. So what is that? We just, we don't get the signal. And the signals of photons. We lose our wireless. And so,
So
yeah.
let's see if we're in alignment on that calendar of, like, let's call it. So the way I explain it is summer, fall, winter, spring of
It's a
like
very good way to see that. I'm going to see where you're going. It's great. Good.
where do you have an understanding of where we are in that calendar of like the golden age?
Very late spring. Very late spring.
Okay, yeah, that's where I
It's
am.
about to be summer.
Yeah,
It'll be summer in about 81 years. So that's what's serious summer on now. 81 years. So, I mean, the next group of kids is going to be psychic telepathic already. They already are. But according to my friend Dylan, who is with Human Design, who's a human design thing, he's called Design Maven, by the way, great human design guy. But he's plugged in, and he's like, there's a species of new. Ra talked about this. By the way, you and Ra are both named after our son. Our son's name is Ra.
right.
That's his name. His name is Ra. I'm named after him too. I'm Christopher Rahman. Raymond is Ramen. It's Rahman.
Yeah,
I'm taking Ra's light and I carry it on. Like I'm here to carry the light of Ra. You're here to carry the light of Ra. Ra also carried the light of Ra, which is the sun. And the sun is actually Ra, our son, is the sponsor of our solar system. Like that's our fucking sponsor. Like that's the dude that feeds us. All the light, all the food, everything is because of that dude. You know?
right.
And he is a dude. You can feel it. You can feel the feminine planets from the male planets. His wife is Sirius. Sirius A. Sirius B. His wife is Sirius B. That Sirius B is his twin flame. That's what they say. And he's red and she's blue. Together they make Violet Crown. She's a blue sun and we're a yellow sun. No, yeah. No, we're a red sun. But we started to cool off a bit, so we're not as red. Yeah. So together they make Violet. So you want to do the additives and colors too to see what's going on. But the question was about our evolution. Oh, so there's apparently, Dylan reports that they're called raves, the next generation. And raves are built differently. They have no karma. So they're not going to come with any problems. These kids are not going to be problems. It's going to be easy to raise. But they'll be weird because they'll all have kind of like, from what he says, they're going to start having the new genetics in them. So they'll start to have some minor powers. Like, they'll start to have powers. Like in Atlantis, there are people who could elevate themselves. So people who could make things fly. We had a lot of that unlocked. Those powers basically, and we were learning them actually. That was the one thing they were slowly having. They only let them out slowly in the DNA code back then, because they didn't want chaos. Everyone thinks like a superhero, but apparently, so they were slowly being let out. Atlanteans were slowly being given those powers, so long story short, here come back the powers through the raves. And the only thing that's interesting about raves is they need to have a set of 5 before they all light up. So that's the most compelling part of them. I think it's 5. So until a rave has 4 other friends, a rave is another rave. For the rave friends. It's weird. That's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah,
It's very interesting. I'm like, why is that? I think it's just a step up towards our power. So like, okay, now where we just we let you make something turn on fire. Now you can have better powers if all of you are together.
Mhm.
Like it's like a safety switch. So one of those hot dogs will just go do something stupid. He needs 4
Yeah.
more hot dogs. Yeah.
It's a team.
Yeah. We need 4 to unlock the power.
And I'm just going to keep on asking you questions.
No, it's
What
okay. And
about,
I'll answer. By the way, guys, I don't claim to be the expert. I'm telling you what I've studied and what I resonate to. I choose the path that's which is my heart says yes, my soul says yes. So for the record, I'm not the source. I'm just the messenger.
somebody commented about, yes, thank you for that.
Yeah.
You're channeling this information.
Yeah, yeah, channeling. I mean, well, actually, I'm being educated. So when there's an education involved, they just take you to each clue for you to put together yourself.
Okay.
Just to be clear, and channeling is like, here's this is the way it is.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Someone commented about solar flares.
Oh yeah.
And so is that like, what is and the Schumann resonance? And because I even think in the Bible it says that the next sort of erasure of humans and upgrade is coming with a fire.
You know what?
And
Yeah, the sun. Yeah, I agree. First of all, everyone needs to know the Earth will not be destroyed. No, not ever. Not ever. You think God's gonna let this diamond go? No fucking way. The angels have said it. The angels have said it. The angels have said, like, we're about to step in because you guys aren't fucking getting it. Like, they'll give us the last minute and then they'll come in and they'll change it. Like, they won't allow their property to go down from us. And it's not even us. It's that alien races, and we're infected with some of the darker aliens. who have either convinced or become or incarnated into human bodies even to try. They're still trying to get the Earth. I mean, it's a hot piece of property. It's a really hot piece. I mean, look what's behind you. What
Hmm.
alien wouldn't want to steal that? I mean,
Right.
you kidding? It's like every species in the universe is like a rich man's like collection of everything. This is a collection of everything. Everyone wants it. It's themselves. So there's, and but we're also, they want us to fight for ourselves. They want us to stand up. I'm talking about the light. So they're not going to come in and rescue. They're going to like set it up to where you figure it out. They do send in some decoys and things at times. There are angel spies. I call them guardian agents. That's what they are. They're guardian agents. So it works for the angels. Yeah. So they come in like certain people. There's a few famous people right now who are guardian agents.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That I recognize. Yeah.
Oh, you recognize them. That's
Well, in some
amazing.
cases I know.
Yeah,
Like you can
yeah.
tell someone. I mean, you all have been you watch TV and it's like, I think I know it. I swear I just feel this connection to this person. You have it. You have it. That's true. And a lot of times, I'll tell you, every time I've had someone on TV, I'm like, I just feel this connection. I've met them. I've met them in life. So far. It's like Robin Williams, just a variety of people. They just was on TV. I'm like, I know that person. I don't know. Some another lifetime. I mean, but that lifetime we're both pig farmers, so who cares? Yeah, we confuse things about the importance of one life versus the importance of another.
Right, right. I've had that experience too, where
Yeah.
there's someone on TV and I just feel like such a connection. And then, like, next week in a restaurant, see them, say
Wow.
hi to
Yeah.
them. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Wow. That's crazy. Wow.
so, what about this week? Should we start funneling down
Sure.
to
Well,
this
we're in
week? And
Cancer. I started talking about it. So Cancer's so the way you're built. Let's pick it up from there. Humans have emotions. That's new. So one of the reasons why aliens stay away is because we're farting all the time, these emotions, and that we're gross. Like we harbor a lot of icky feelings. We harbor a lot of stuff. We stay stuck in it. We kind of smell to the aliens because the energy we put off, it's like an energy they don't recognize. Like the feelings are weird to them too. Like, this is a weird feeling. This is weird energy. Never seen energy come off a person or an entity like this. So we're broadcasting our stuff all the time. And I came to the epiphany last week that I believe that it's actually emotions that how the earth actually communicates with each other. I think the collective communicates through emotion. So that means that when I feel a certain way, I send it out in the universe. I mean, your emotions are constantly being broadcast out in waves, always in waves. And the moon, which swings around the earth, fucks with the emotional field. So the moon, it's number 2 in my system, and Earth is number 10. So 10, be next to a 1 or be next to a 10. Well, the 1 is the sun, and Earth is creation is a 10, right? So the 2 is like the next number, the very next number. And so 2 is the energy that will actually disturb, pick up, reflect whatever is in front of, whatever it's orbiting. So the moon is actually just bouncing energy of the Earth back on the Earth, back on the Earth, back on the Earth. It's actually it bounces just back on the Earth. And when it bounces back on the Earth, it comes to a frequency that we feel. So our emotions pick it up. We pick it up the broadcasting. I don't feel it would be as emotional if we didn't have such a big moon. And it doesn't matter that it's hollow. It does the same thing. In fact, it probably does it better. There might be technology in there, like alien technology that does it. So your emotions are very important. And if you don't feel yourself every day, every moment, you will never ascend. No. You have to feel your emotions is just like your body. It's like someone like licks your foot. You're like, whoo, right? That's because you had contact with an animal to your foot, or a person, and so your foot told you, "Hey, there's something slimy here," right? You feeling it is the communication of something slimy there, right? Same thing when I pick up on, I just don't want to make fun of right now, but a person, like when you feel a slimy energy coming from a person, it's because their energy is licking you, kind of thing. It's like, and you can, so that's happening in an energy level right here, like
Mhm.
it's having an energy level right off the aura. And so, the emotions go back in the body, then the body translates it into a chemical cocktail that creates the illusion of the feeling.
Right.
Chemical cocktails, hormones, and other things. So, and then it's really smart. Then the cocktail's released in the bloodstream. So within about a minute, every organ, everything in the body has access to it. So this is a electromagnetic, bouncing from space, field of communication. It's basically, again, God's wireless. It's basically God's wireless. So your feelings are what you're built from in this life. Step 1 is I love, and right after love, I feel. I feel the love. That's the purpose of this planet, to feel the love and to believe. Because 0, 1, 2, 3 is the basis of all life. You don't have to have step forward and beyond if you don't want. You can like just build a species on 0, 1, 2, 3. In fact, even 3, you don't know, but 3 is the belief, and the belief is the perspective you're going to take in the creation. So it's love with an emotional field. So it's like, I love something, add the emotions, and the emotions are all the hard drive. So the emotions are all the things that happened. That time you told me, one time he cheated on me, and it's like all that data of all the things that happened is in emotion. It's not stored in your brain. It's not stored in the galactic center. It's stored within the emotional field. So it's like, that's why we have all these substances that cut us off from our emotions to make us numb. We take medical, we're taking medicine that blocks our emotions, People are hysterical. People, that person needs to calm down. Now, then they did Adderall. Adderall is the latest invention to shut down your emotions. So anyone out there on Adderall, you're shut down.
Completely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been on it. I know. I've experienced like these drugs. But I have. I want to. I was like, I want to see what this does to me. And I saw with Adderall, not only does Adderall cut you off from emotions, but it definitely builds an anti-energy in there. There's anti. You start becoming anti. It builds. It's like strengthens your ego and shuts down your feelings. So you become a little slightly sociopathic
Right.
slightly. It takes you in a sociopath kind of direction. My experience with antidepressants did the same, to a bigger, horrible, more degree, actually. Yeah, and I'll say this right now. I guess guys wants me to talk about it. When I had my breakdown, I was on antidepressants, and I was on it to sleep because I'm having a sleep disorder like you. And so I was upset because I had so much work. I could not. I was starting to have this anxiety build from not finishing my work because I couldn't sleep. I wouldn't be recharged. Like this panic. Like, am I gonna be able to do it? I'm too tired. So they're like, oh, there's an antidepressant that actually will help you sleep, and it did help me sleep for a long time. But then it just stopped. I mean, doctors didn't check on it. I had to change doctors. Like, oh, so you're on this, okay? I was like, script. Just write the script. Just keep it going. No one checked in and be like, how you doing? But I don't even think they would have, because there's an agenda there. I'm sure I can feel it. It's strong, and the agenda is to make some people killers. Because what happens is it starts with anxiety. I started having anxiety all the time, right? What doctors want to do? Increase the dosage. My guides are like, do not increase the dosage. So I would return it. I would turn them down. There's got to be another way, right? No, let's increase dosage, or try this one, or try this one, or try this one, And it's like, no, I don't think you get the point here. Like, the idea here is to be well without having to take a pill every day. It's a pain in the ass. And who cares? It's got other things. I'm sure it's got damaging things in it. So I built to a point where my anxiety was so bad. My anxiety built so much. And that was after a year of crying. I had a year of crying, because Jupiter was in my 12th or something, I was like, it's just past life. And in the history of things, the doctor's like, you don't cry every day, man. That's a drug problem. It's causing a problem. So I had a year of crying every day, and then I moved from Texas to, I moved from Denver to Texas, and then in Texas it became extreme anxiety. It's like I can't calm the fuck down. I was doing hot yoga 4 times a week. Just like, get that shit out of me, get out of me, get out of me, get out of me. Losing tons of weight. And then suddenly it built to such a crazy that like I was high. Like I felt like I was on a speed or something. It went to a high point where I'm like, I'm fucking high. Or I didn't need to sleep, I didn't need to eat or anything. Like, when is that weird thing? Mind you, the dosage never changed ever, not once. Not once. I was like, one pill, one pill, one pill. So then it got to a point where I got paranoid delusional, where I was like, they're out to get me. I just was like, but part of me that has done drugs was like, I think we're on some bad trip. Like, that part of me that observes was like, I think we're on a bad trip. Something's not right here. But then in my mind, I was like, and I was like walking around the kitchen. Like, I had a kitchen island. I just walk around all day. Yeah, like all day long till my feet hurt. It was crazy. And again, I went to the doctors. They're like, we should increase the dosage. You should try this one. And I was like, they're in on it. Like, so I can't even trust them. And so the whole thing is crazy. But I was getting instructions. There's psychic broadcasts that you pick up. And one broadcast was to kill. On
Well,
4th of July, there was a broadcast that came in. I swear to God, I was like, go kill. You must kill today. And again, I'm like, is this drug? Am I mentioning this? But then I sat there, I was like, this is coming into my psychic channel. This is coming into my psychic channel. And it's something I would have thought of.
oh wow. So
I
it's
feel
like,
bad about it. They were like, they told, like, mine was like to run over families and kids, like in the car, run over families and kids. And I was just like, fuck, like, I've never even thought of something like that. Like, I don't even think about those terms at all. And it just popped in my head. It came visually. So this is a high, whatever is broadcasting this is like, higher than Earth. It's like an alien broadcast. But I think the pills are designed to receive those
yeah,
signals.
something.
And do you know that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said that every single person who's done a shooting was on an antidepressant? Every single one.
Yeah, school shooting, every single one.
Yes, everyone.
And
Yeah.
their test in the test, they're
The blood.
proving
Yeah.
that it causes aggression. And but what you're saying about picking up a signal to kill, that I mean,
Oh, it was
of
horrible. I was just,
course.
yeah. And so I wasn't like, I was like, so even on it, I was like, I don't want to kill. Like I could tell I didn't want to kill, but I was afraid it would take over my free will. But I'll tell you what, guys, it never did. So if you're on antidepressants, you ever find yourself in a position, it does not take over your free will. It tries really hard to convince you it has, but it hasn't. It has not taken over your free will. I was able to, I was able to say no. I'm like, no, I don't think I'm in the car. Now, I didn't drive for 9 months. I was because I was concerned that it would take over like right when there's family there or something. You know what I mean? I was like, so like I just stayed out of the car. I'm like, fuck it, I'm not going to kill anybody. Fuck that. And also there was a instruction to kill yourself. It's like, in
Mm.
fact, it almost feel like someone was listening because they're like, whenever I get like really whiny or whatever, I'd be like, kill yourself. You always kill yourself. Like, it's like they're listening in on my brain. It was weird. But, I think I went through it for this moment. Please don't take pharmaceuticals. And no, we can't just like blanket, just not take them. I think we have to be very careful. Like, like what's it called? Uh, Penicillin is good. Penicillin's good. There's nothing wrong with penicillin. God makes penicillin. I think the thing is like it has to be pure. You can make medicines, but you have to base them, I think, on plants and pure plants and not on anything synthetic. But anyways,
And
y'all, just listen to your feelings. I'll tell you, when that woman prescribed me, if I ever talk to her again, the woman who prescribed me the medicine was weird because I went to a clinic and she was like a temp there, so it was like really weird. But like I
mm,
didn't even finish talking. She's like, I know what to do for you. Like she had it, the answer was there, and my gut was like, this feels wrong, but I just was like, oh, you're the doctor. But my gut was like, this feels wrong. Get out of here, you know. And I was having anxiety then because I was coming off another medicine that was prescribed me. So I was learning about medicines that time. And so I needed medicine to help me with the other medicines, which is crazy. So yeah, that's what I learned. So everyone, I don't know how we got down the path. I guess it's time for people to know. Ideally, I don't really believe in depression. I'm not saying, I think there's sadness that can be perpetuated. And if you just keep giving into it, it will just keep building like everything else in your soul. You'll build whatever, you'll create whatever. In fact, I think I told you this. Did I tell you Yeshua's actual mission that Mary Magdalene told us?
you did, but I'm blanking on what
Yeah.
the actual statement was.
Well, it's just that humans were not finding heaven. They were wandering around
Oh
the
yeah,
industry.
the
And
afterlife.
they were wandering around the afterlife, not and confused. But when they went, if they believed in hell, then the afterlife creates hell instantly.
Right.
So people are getting lost in hell, and hell was that you're lost and can't find the light. And so they sent Yeshua down, and that was your mission. Tell them that we exist. Tell them to come to us, and when we die, tell them, put in their brains, and when you die, look for the light. That's basically it, right? So funny, it's interesting because
Yeah, yeah,
creation itself. My point with depression is you're living in creation. If you put any time and energy, which is energy over time, you will create it. Period,
yeah.
including depression, including everything.
Well, that's why they label it because then we create what.
That's why they suggested. You may
Yeah.
have suicidal thoughts. You may have homicidal thoughts. You may have this. You may have that. They're saying, look for this, look for this.
Right.
That's what they're saying. Look for this, look for this. Look for all these things. Your bowel might go. You might shit fire. This might happen. You might grow a third nipple. Tell you all the things that you could possibly create. You could create. Because, with the placebo effect proves it. When they
Right.
test the medicine, half of them doesn't get the medicine, half of them does. And half of them that doesn't get the medicine is cured. Half of the half. That's 25% of the fucking market. I mean, we could cure 25% of the market if we just trick them that they had to cure, or we taught them how to get in that space. That there tells you right there, it's all energy,
Right. Yeah. Scientifically validated.
and they expect it. It's a normal. It's a normal study.
Yeah. It's almost getting so strong now that they're like trying to like figure out a way around the placebo effect and test because it's getting so strong that
Placebo. You need to take placebo before you do placebo. Take placebo. Placebo is like this. He's on placebo. He's happy. My God.
they're just gonna
I think
start.
it's just us being talked into taking poisons.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what a lot of it is.
It's all creating the fear of the boogeyman. So it's really what happens when we come down to Earth. We are blank slate. We don't know anything. We have no memory. We have no sense of who we are. We have a sense of who we've been, but not who we are. And so if some alien comes up and goes, you know what? You're a sinner. And on this planet, This is how it goes. Well, now that's in planning and creation, and that's how it is.
Sinners go to
The
hell.
client runs with the idea and creates it and gets creative. It gets creative with it. It's crazy. So this week, back to the emotions, your emotions are very important. They're a communication to all the humans. I believe that when I feel bad, it goes out there, and someone in China can feel me. Like a radio station, they pick up on me. They do pick up on me. People do pick up on me. People, that's the thing. It's kind of my part is like, I'll go through a bad spell, and then I'll like 25, Facebook things. Are you okay? It's like, But this week, what we're doing is today we're in step, what's step range? Jesus, step 8, 9. So today's step 9 Cancer. So step 9 Cancer is the ego. Now, you should have in the last 10 days discovered how you don't want to feel anymore. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to feel that way. Okay. A lot of these feelings are actually your parents introduced it. You got used to feeling that way. And because feelings are the foundation of life, the fourth house, the foundation is your feelings. You sit in your feelings. Second air tube. Because you sit in your feelings, it's uncomfortable to switch cushions. It's uncomfortable with the cushion. It literally relax. Our feelings relaxes. When you relax, those are your feelings relaxing. And they're just relaxing feelings, just going back and forth, back and forth. So people were born into families that actually had the vibration of their past life. In most cases, the vibration of them in their past life. So your mom is once the person used to be. Your dad's the person used to be too. These are people used to be most of the time. And so what we do is we bring the people used to be in as the creator of the first cushion. They create the vibration of what we sit and rest on. So that we build this emotional foundation on our past life personalities. This is why your parents piss you off, because you're mad that you were that in that last life. You're mad that you were that in that last life. You don't like the fact that you were that. So your parents are mostly here to discuss you. And because you're seeing versions of yourself you frankly never want to see again. After you went to heaven and reviewed the tapes, you're like, oh, There's like in fact, what runs one's spirituality is humility, because they all go up there and we all see each other's shit at the same time, and it's all open. So every thought you've had, every feeling you've had, every person you have sex with, you'll watch again in heaven, and so your whole class. So that's why it's like maybe you should slow down, but that doesn't matter. Because in heaven, there's no judgment. So this week, we're going to go from, we just created our cushion. For the last 9 days, we've been exploring what our cushion should be. I don't want to rest in anxiety. I want to rest in worry. I don't want to rest in, feelings of debt. I don't want to rest that the sky is falling. That shouldn't be my foundation. Sky's falling, sky's falling, sky's falling, sky's falling. If your mom is running around the house yelling, the sky's falling, then you're always like this. I mean, your posture is like, okay, they're kind of waiting for it. Like, where's it? Waiting for it. And so we programmed our feelings around our past life personalities, and then we went into the world. Well, then that's just like random chaos of pool balls. Pool balls is like, so we go and so we start attracting people like us, and we attract people's like this part, like people are attracted to one of 12 parts or one of 18 parts of us. But that brings us in, and we're like, oh, you're perfect. Actually, they're one of 18 parts, and the one part they are of the 18 parts is where you're an idiot, right? And so most of the time, here's the thing about compatibility. Everyone goes, why can't you make a compatibility astrology app? That's just a good thing. It'd be cool just to find your partner that way. I'm like, because it's more complicated than you think. People still judge by whether you have big boobs or whatever. So it's like humans are still caught in their sex drive. So they'll just be like, I don't care how compatible they are. She ain't pretty, she ain't pretty, she ain't pretty. Like, I'm not attracted. Here's the thing, the attraction that we have for people that's really high sexual, like if it's a high, like, ugh.
Yeah.
High
A
sexual
fire.
drive, it's a setup for a lesson. So when you look at those two clients who had high sexual drive, and they were attracted to each other, it's because usually one of them has a high and one of them is low. So when they connect, it's like waterfall.
Right.
Okay, so there's waterfalls of change. That's why people with kids, the same thing. People are in the kids or whatever. They're into the fact that the energy is so big between adult and the kid. The intensity of the exchange is intense. So they're high. All evil is basically always after a high. By the way, every evil thing is based on getting high. So long story short, our emotional field starts off with actually who we are and who we don't want to be. It's designed to push us out of that person, out of the house. So we're designed to be pushed out of the house and go do it again differently. And then once you're in your adult, what you have to do is craft those feelings yourself. And you craft those feelings by having certain plants in the house that creates a certain So you build your own You build your own om, which is where home comes from. Home, right? So home, same thing. It's the same sound, same intention. So that's what home is. So you want to create your own home. Now your home goes with you because it's your emotional field that you're actually creating. So if you go to the office, you take your home with you, right? So what happens is that people go in the office For everyone else, they got home, hee haw, praise the Lord. Like they've got tons of different songs, and it's like fuck. So the math is like, how do I keep this home and not let it get fucked up with that person? And the answer is boundaries. Step 0. If you had boundaries set in place, limits. Okay, I want to hear the word Om. I don't want no fucking triangles in that. No triangles. I hate triangles. Like if you just like put up things you don't want to hear, basically what you don't want to feel, and you say this is what my home needs to be, and only let this similar homes come into my home. And once you do that, you don't try the weird homes, and if you do, you don't feel them because your emotions will follow your command. And they follow your command because you're the higher intelligence. So anytime there's a higher intelligence, it has control of the lower intelligence. That's the hierarchy of God. So, ascended masters become more intelligent than the system that was created for humans. They rise above it. They ascend out of it. Like, oh, I'm not DOS anymore, baby. I'm Windows. Like they're the next version. You can see, oh, those, that was look at that was actually just these 2 circuits. And so you start to see, how it all works. And once you see how it all works, you can make it work for you.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah. I really like the parent thing and the explanation of this is the cushions that you sat in, and then you get out of the house and you create your own. And you're saying that we're going through setting up that emotional state right now.
We just had to move out of home, move out.
Right.
Jupiter just arrived, so in 1 year you'll be out of your cushy space. 1 year. That's your deadline. God always does a pretty good deadline. You got a year to get out of your space. Now, Jupiter's your belief structure. For some reason, you believe you're supposed to be that shitty cushion. You didn't even realize they got cushions that float now and all kinds of stuff. And you're still sitting on that old rent a chair or whatever. So I can't think of those old cushions. What are they called? I don't know. I can't remember them. But in the Midwest, there's like those things that Grandpa sat in, and so what's happening is that people push your buttons and push your weaknesses, and it's because of the feelings that you eventually do and change. But the truth of the matter is that you are continuing the pattern of the cushion. So you take your parents' cushions with you. You take them with you, and you start with those same cushions. You make a couple adjustments, but for the most part, you're no wiser than your parents. You're comfortable with that cushion. You're comfortable, like it's cozy. So why change it? And so what happens is that people they want different things. So it requires different cushions. If you want to be a billionaire, and which means you have the ability to accumulate wealth or accumulate materials, or you want to be an amazing star ballerina, you have to come from a certain kind of home, certain kind of cushion. You have to be cushioned in the beginning from one thing to go somewhere. So the problem is that people aren't cushioned properly, and so they're like, they can't get to where they want because they're not founded correctly in the right vibration, which is the experience of feelings. So you want this month, this week. So this week, today, you're leaving the house today. You're getting kicked out, which means as of now, your comfy cushions will no longer be comfortable. God, actually, that's how he fucks with things. Like, okay, turn off the comfy part. Like somehow the planets, whatever, they just something that's like Sully's just not doing the trick anymore. And addicts tell us too. I was doing coke. It didn't matter how much coke you did. Then I didn't do anything. It's like, yep, because eventually you experience as much as you can experience, and God's like, turn that off. So something about turns off things that you had too much, or had too much. It's like you die or you go to some other drug, and that's the deal. They go to the drugs, right? So long story short, you're going to be sort of like forced off your drug, whatever it is, whatever's going to make you comfortable. If it's a person, a relationship, if it's a substance like a drug, if it's whatever it is that you've been sort of like sitting around not doing anything, you'll be pushed out of that cushion. Now, how will you be pushed? It's up to your imagination how you're pushed. Your worst imagination is what they use. They use yours. It's like, okay, there's some sort of signal. It's just like, what are they most afraid of? Bring it in. It's like that you chose it. So things you happen, you chose. There are things you thought about or something, and they just are trying to get you out of your fucking comfort zone. Because if you don't change your comfort zone, you won't go higher. You won't do anything. And mind you, feelings are step 2. Thoughts are step 5. So all these feelings are coming up and hitting the bottom of the mind. So the mind is taking the position from what is feeling beneath it. That's its first position. So if you're emotionally cooked or you're emotionally sad, then all those thoughts go to the mind. That's the other thing about psychology. They're fucking with us. It's not our mind that's the problem. It's our feelings. Our feelings are crazy, making our mind crazy. That's what's making our mind crazy. Our feelings make our mind crazy. And we're like, it must be mental health. It refuses to even, no scientific research on how emotions are made. None. Like, we don't learn that. Then they learn that we're fucking with them. But it's true. So today you take the cushion and you start looking in the world for a more comfy spot. So you take your cushion and you look for more comfy spot. Now, comfy spot means like more of a. So today's 9, tomorrow's 10. So basically, taking the cushion out, you're going cushion independent. So cushion, like we're taking it out of the water of our parents' house. 10, we're like drying it off. 11, we're like, okay, I feel good, ready to go. So today, tomorrow, Wednesday, this Wednesday, 11. Then Thursday, step 12. Now we're like, where should I take my cushion? Or we're caught on the carnival ride of our normal life. Do 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 do. Time for work. Do do do. Time for daycare. Do do do. So we're like, time for this, time for that, time. It's a man-made convention to keep things moving. And so we might be on a roller coaster and we're like, oh, my cushion feels hard over here. Oh, suddenly I don't like the cushion. So you start like, now that you're cushion independent and you go through normal life, you're like, this feels like shit. So people will be like, I can't, so what's happening is now people are getting prepared to leave. And I'm having so many reports of moves. Move, 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 move. Why? Don't feel cushion here anymore.
Right.
It's on
Don't
your
like it
vibe.
here anymore.
Some places, I mean, not all some places, every place on earth has a different vibration. If you want to
Yes.
teleport your body right now, all you have to do is tell your body to be that frequency, and you'll be there. Say, be the frequency of Mount Shasta. Boom, you're there. We have to be for it to come, right? So, and the reason why it comes to us is because we're actually in heaven right now, dreaming. It's not really, we're not going anywhere. We're pulling things to us. So there's other things forward. There's the only thing is pull. So there's things forward. Only pull. So really, we pull Mount Shasta to us. We pull that woman to us. We pull things we want to us. And the way we pull is I call light casting. So light casting is the energy goes out in the light in the form of emotions and other energies. We light cast ourselves out, with big blast of light. And what comes back is from the calling, So we're going to be interacting with cushions. Thursday is like, I don't know if this is what the brochure said. Like, we need to be going somewhere else. This is what I asked for in heaven. And so that's 12. Your mind opens up. And then 13, I don't belong on this lazy river called my life. Do daycare. Do McDonald's. Do. I don't want to go here anymore. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be. So Friday is the whole breakdown. Like, truth is, I hate all of you. You come to accept the truth. Like, I do hate you all. I've just been pretending. Isn't that great? So people are gonna be like, waking up on Friday. Now, if people at the bottom who like don't think about any of this, slap up the face. It gets more violent, more intense the dumber you are. So it's like God is just like, God, just have to slap them. Poof.
Right.
And sometimes like, yeah, an injury, a sickness,
Accidents.
accidents. Everybody said that accident changed my life. We know. Says heaven. We know. Some characters are built so strong. They're so strong. The stronger they are, the harder they fall. So the stronger you can hold on to your vibration and refuse to change, the bigger something has to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
You attract your equal. Okay, Mr. Strong. Send my truck. So if you find yourself in an accident, like a semi truck or something huge, you should be proud. You're pretty fucking strong. You're very strong. That's why it happened to you. It's not victim. It's the opposite. Your superhero strength brought in this crazy wreck with 50-ton wreck because that's how strong you are. Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of people saying they're moving. This morning, we took our dog to the vet because we need to get a test to start our process in order to move to Hawaii. And that's
I know some people. There's a lot of Hawaii people going. So there's some spiritual hotspots I know of: Hawaii, Palm Springs, Nashville, Austin, Texas. I know of those. There's one in Maryland, but I don't know the name. I can feel I see it out there. So these are intellectual hotspots, which will be a race. Basically, we're going through a renaissance. So for the people who choose 5D, the 5D path, there's a renaissance. Now, renaissance is not the right word to use. They keep telling me. I haven't downloaded what it is yet. It's got like a name. It's got a name already, but I don't know. They haven't told me yet, which means I have to learn some more stuff first for let me have it. So which is always the case. Like, yeah, I have to learn too, y'all.
Yeah.
But so these are hubs for so what's going to happen is this is a perfect ending to this show, because what happens is now everyone is called like you were being called to Hawaii. I can't even name how many people. I'm like over 20. I know over in Hawaii. Okay, right now, same thing. And I know in Palm Springs, I talk to people like, how long you lived here? I just came here last month. I mean, everyone I meet, I just came here last week. I'm like, fuck, like I kind of like it. I think I'm gonna stay. Mary Magdalene told me this, and she told me, we got you out of Denver because you need to be in this hub, and they showed me some pictures of what's going to happen here, and it's basically a revival. of the first days of Palm Springs. Because Palm Springs was actually created by a bunch of stars who are special people. I mean, celebrities back then had special talent. They could sing, they could dance, they could do this. And so they had contracts in their studio things that they couldn't do naughty stuff and have a moral clause. Without the moral clause, they'd say at least 99 miles away from Hollywood if they're going to do anything immoral. And so Palm Springs is like 98, 99. So Palm Springs became like a place where celebrities like Lucille Ball, Bob Hope, Desi Arnaz, obviously, these big TV stars. I mean, those are big TV stars, right? They all had their little vacation party homes here. And so Palm Springs was based on like the brightest lights there are partying.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
That's cool, yeah. So anyways, but that's not what we're going to do in our mission. I know what's happening here. I know I've been told, and I can't talk about it. But it's nothing big. I mean, when you hear like, oh, that's it, yeah, I know. But so I'll let you know something. I said like, we're going to discover a new element. I know. No, there's crystals in all the mountains here. So Palm Springs is like a horseshoe mountains.
Yeah.
You literally there's like literally right there. Like I have a friend whose mountain starts right there over her window. She has a rock view out of her house, right?
Right.
It's like it just goes up, and then they're full of crystals. And so this is a vortex city, because Mother Earth's creation energy runs from her vagina, which is Mount Shasta, to her belly button, which is Lake Titicaca. Can't make this stuff up. Why in Mexico did you name it Titicaca? We're just curious, because in our language, that's not what it is in your language. We're just curious. But the point is, we're halfway between her root and her solar plexus. Yeah, right? No, sacral. So her root is Mount Shasta. Sacral is Lake Titicaca. So the energy runs down the mountain range, because mountain ranges are actually spinal cords for planets, and so it runs down the mountain range. And so that's why that's why Hollywood is so creative, because it's in Mother Earth's womb. So along the way, her creation energy gets caught in a circle. That's Palm Springs.
That's Palm Springs. Little vortex.
Mm-hmm. Where it's timeless here. We're in no time. There's no time here. It's very like.
Yeah. That's what we do for LA people. We go to Palm Springs to experience that.
Yeah, because LA is like sing, dance, fuck, blah, blah. It's like sing, dance, fuck. That's so that like it's her creative energy, man. Raw creative energy, and they're all just like drunk on it. But they're also, those who can harness it. It's too intense for me, and it's been polluted.
Wow.
Yeah, because Mother Earth has been, I don't want to say raped, but it did. She's been raped, and so she's hurt. I mean, and so Hollywood's hurt. And when I go there, I can't last more than 72 hours before I start feeling really sad and depressed. And I go back to Palm Springs, so I can dip my foot in the dirty water, but I gotta wash off real quick.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone living there, because if you're living there, you're there to choose creative over dark. Like you're having both energies. You're there to choose one, so you have to taste both at the same time. So anyone who's there, you're there to learn the light from dark separation. That's why you're there.
Okay, so I think we covered this week.
We did. So big aha is Friday, Saturday. So Friday's 13. Like, I don't think I am human. Like there's some sort of holy shift moment with Friday. Saturday, like, yeah, I think I am this thing. And then Sunday is like, am I bullshitting myself, God? Oh, no. Actually, Saturday's like, yeah, this is it. This is my new world. And then Monday, you're like, am I bullshitting? So it's basically you're going to take the whole week to feel whether or not your current location on Earth and your current level of society is good. Mind you, in the same city, sometimes there's a light and a dark. So sometimes it's like staying there, but going higher in society, or not society, but going higher in energy, higher in life. The gurus are always hanging out with the trash. Like not hanging out, but they're in the same city. I mean, they're gurus. They don't affected by it.
Right. Yeah. Can you repeat those cities again? You said Palm Springs.
Yes, it was the ones I know of. Okay, for the record, the ones I know of are, and this are like. And by the way, we did 3 of them for Unite the Light. That's how I started. That's how I found this out. My guys are like Austin and then Nashville. So he told me right off, Austin, Nashville. Now we got to Nashville, we realized, oh, we're healing Nashville. So our appearance there was from stars like me, spiritual stars that can, be happy on the way to death. Like I could be in a concentration camp waiting for my death and be like, so 2 Jews walking tomorrow. You got to hear this one. Like I would be a guy who's just going to be joking. My light stays no matter how dark it is. My family with my childhood was as dark as they can get. So fuck, this is home with me. So like we are sent, my workers are sent to go implant their vibrational crystal into that area which because it's a higher frequency starts to take over like colored food, like like color, like false color in the water. You put food coloring in your water, and it's just like the water just turns all red. You put a high vibration person in a pool of darkness, just starts to vibrate out of the system because we're running a higher function, so our frequency has more power.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Over the ones that has less power. So more power always wins over less power.
You light it up.
Totally. But we light up and say, love yourself, connect to God. We don't say, pay me $19.95 a month. Which is what I do actually. I ask you for $19.95 a month. But I teach you how to feed yourself. I'm not teaching you how to need me. Right?
Right.
You only need me for a brief period.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so that's a good segue. Come to Serious Joy. You know what, folks, there's a lot of Spirit told me today actually to say that. I don't know what your perception of Serious Joy. I mean, people might be my own karma, but I have built the most wonderful resource to help you in the day, and it helps. Really helps. It's like that's $5 a week. If you're not worth $5 a week, then turn off this channel. Why are you wasting your time? Might as well just decay and go. Right? Like seriously, if you're not worth it. But the truth of the matter is it really is a system that was challenged. Every text message you got was written by me almost. I was all challenged, and the channeling was great. So I'll tell you the story next time if you want to know.
Yeah, let's do it. But yeah, guys, we get text messages multiple times a day from Serious Joy, which is really cool. So go check that out.
It's based on you. It's very kindergarten, and it's it's good. So that's a plug. SeriousJoy.com. It's only $4 for the first month. You can cancel anytime.
All right, with that, take care, Chris. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Talk to you soon, Mr. Raw, Mr. Named After the Sun.
Bye-bye.
Ciao later, Road.